When you're worried about something and you're finding that your brain does what it inevitably loves to do, which is catastrophizing, how do you get out of that and find a productive path forward? There's so many different techniques for doing this. And in one of the coaching methodologies that we use with clients is we're identifying their self-limiting beliefs and assumptions and faulty programming. I ask them to go down what I call like the rabbit hole of doom. Where does your brain go? Like, then what, then what, then what? Because they need to really understand what is like the bottom pit. And another way of looking at this is something that I found really fascinating and aligned as I read The Power of Beliefs by Shawn Achor recently. You should go get the book. He talks about leveraging the disaster elevator, where number 10 is the worst possible outcome you can imagine. That's that pit of doom that I go with for clients to identify what is the yuck. And then you go, okay, what's the next worst, next worst? And number one is not the best possible outcome. Number one on that disaster elevator list is the least worst. So all of them are bad, but you're going from the absolute worst to like, well, maybe I'm embarrassed and I get over it a little bit later. And what this actually physiologically does in your brain is it stimulates the different part of the brain. So when we're at number 10, worst possible outcome, we're catastrophizing. We are in that amygdala part of our brain, the emotional hijack, if it's often referred to. And what happens is we are stuck because we are literally feeling the emotions of that outcome. But as we go down the disaster elevator and you start saying, well, what else could happen? What else could happen? What else could happen? It shifts us into more of the thinking centers of our brain where we have emotional regulation and we're able to weigh the pros and cons and think more productively about the possible outcomes rather than feeling the anxiety of the outcomes. So that is my invitation and my challenge to you this week. When you're finding that you are getting anxious about something or you're worrying about something, try that disaster elevator. Get out a piece of paper or put the notes function on your phone and start listing number 10 to number 1 worst possible outcome that you could imagine, where the world just like ends, to the least worst outcome. And notice what happens in you emotionally. Notice if you find a better path forward. I tried this and I found it super, super helpful. And so I hope that you do as well. And I would love to hear what opens up for you as you put this into practice. And remember, when we can find our way from that reactive emotional hijack to regulation and calm and centeredness, we have a greater opportunity to let more of our sparkle shine brightly.